The pink toilet.
Yeah, it's a bit different to Glennstonbury.
Yeah.
It's got a sink and a proper toilet.
Oh, I love that.
And it's got mirrors, so it looks like the flowers go on forever, you know. So,
Brilliant.
So what we do, the girls use that, but the men use the woods mostly.
Okay.
So I'll show
children need traveling shoes. Drive your problems from here. All good people read good books. Now your conscience is clear. I hear you talk, girl. Now your conscience is clear. In the morning when I wipe my brow, wipe the miles away. So willed and never do what you say. I'll never hear you and never do what you say. Look, my eyes are just holograms. Look, your love has drawn red from my hands. From my hands, you know you'll never be more than twist in my sobriety. More than twist in my sobriety. More than twist in my sobriety. We just booked a little empty pie for the fun the people had at night. Late at night, don't need hostility. Timid smile and pause too free. I don't care about their different thoughts. Different thoughts are good for me. Up in arms and chased and whole. All God's children took their toll. Look, my eyes are just holograms. Look, your love has drawn red from my hands. From my hands, you know you'll never be more than twist in my sobriety. More than twist in my sobriety. More than twist in my sobriety. Soft and pokey, you pig out till you've seen the light. Pig out till you've seen the light.
Tell me how the whole garden thing started.
Well, we've always had a nice garden for parties, and the garden's changed over the years. Originally, when the pubs used to shut at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, people had come up here, and then we actually had a swimming pool sort of thing down there, great big hole we'd dug, and then we had a slide down here. So we'd have Sunday afternoons up here doing that. Then we had a badminton court down the bottom. We've had a bird aviary there. Then we had a big garden party with. Anyway, we did this for years. Every year on my birthday, bigger and bigger, till in the end, to be honest, it got too big. And this garden, you could not move. It was like sardines. And once the mobile phone came in, people were ringing up their friends at 1 a.m, and it was getting chock-a-block. I mean, people were turning up. So we stopped doing the massive parties. Then we started doing more just individual bands or jazz mornings. Then we did a Saturday night, and then Blair on this Saturday said, why don't we do... No, he said we should have called that Glennstonbury. So that planted the seed. So then I was laying in bed after Christmas one day, and I was thinking, we've got a couple of months, maybe I will do Glennstonbury. And that's what I did. I started ringing around to a few musicians, had some t-shirts printed, got security, Big Ali, got a sound technician, Pascal, and Mike Willis came on board. Marcus, Yeah, bye.
So Glennstonbury came about, but the garden came about way before then, though, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of, you originally had just basically a back garden.
Yeah. Oh, when I first come here, I'll have to show you footage of it. There was nothing at all. It was just a bit of wasteland.
How long have you been here? Sorry.
50 years.
Wow.
We've been here 50 years now.
Was it
so
new?
I built the extension. No, it's an old council house.
Okay.
40 odd years old it was. Anyway, and it was a nice council house. But I put this extension on it and built a chimney and had a fireplace and all that. And then I just started taking the garden, and it's on a big slope. But the idea was that you don't know you're on a slope. All the gardens are flat. So I'm a real believer in levelling off areas. If you've got a slope garden, people can't sit on it. It's never comfortable. So this leads down one path in the middle, but you walk off, and it's full of raised beds, which is something else really important, is raised beds. You can do so much more with it. So anyway, it started to come into a garden. Then we started to do, on my 40th, we started our first big party here. And they just got bigger. Every year people just heard about the party. I never used to not let anyone in. Whoever turned up could come in. There was no charge to get in the garden, obviously. They just bought their own drinks, and we just got a lot of people in Hastings to meet other people, because that's what it's about. It's a community space where people meet other people. I'm not a gardener. This is what's really weird. I'm not a gardener. When people say you've got a nice garden, I'm not a filmmaker, and then I'm not really a bricklayer, but I get away with it. You can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it, and if you just, and so I'm lucky. I get inspiration from somewhere. I like to think that the garden that I've created in the last 3 years since lockdown, Luke's been helping me, because when lockdown came and I was struggling mentally, I needed something to do, and then I just decided to do a garden in memory of Luke, because he's with us all the time and he's here now. I don't want to go, but I'm a bit spiritualist, so I know Luke's with me, and someone honestly has helped me do these jobs, because I look at them afterwards and I think, I couldn't do that if I was told to do it, but I did it, if you understand what I mean.
I do.
So it keeps happening that I do structures and do things which I think, how did I do that? It's like someone's showing me what to do. And every time I need something, someone rings me up. Like Marcus has just come in. I've got some more wood for you. Well, I need wood tonight for the men's club. So I've got wood for tonight. It's like all the time these things happen. So I feel very lucky. And
so a lot has happened in the last 3 years, is what you're saying?
yeah, the last 3 years,
Or 4 years, is it now?
3 or 4 years
Yeah.
since lockdown. Yeah, when lockdown came, Nick, it was just after lockdown, and I was struggling, and I didn't like it, and I thought, I've got to do something. So I got up one morning and I thought, I'll change the garden, and I did get a little bit of ground over there which was just vacant and was full of rubbish. So I changed that into a garden, and it's basically a wildlife garden as well. It's full of things for wildlife. All the planting, everything is designed to bring birds and nature into this garden. Badgers, we get everything here. So that's what it is as well, because for me, the animals out there, and Joni Mitchell said we've got to get back to the garden in one of her, I think it was Woodstock.
Yes.
And it's so important that we get back to the garden, because all the other things we think about in life, the material things, you don't get any more pleasure than being in a garden and seeing things grow. So Lee Dyer, I'm hoping Lee Dyer does this. I'm going to get him to build a sculpture. He's a sculptor, Lee.
Don't know.
I want him to do a tree with a couple of branches, because there was an LP by John Prine called The Tree of Forgiveness, and funnily enough, forgiveness has got my name in it, Veness. So
Yeah.
because my name's it, and I looked at the cover of this and I thought, forgiveness, yeah. So I want Lee to do this tree, which is going to be called the Tree of Forgiveness, and it's going to be in the corner, and anyone who's got a difference, because we don't have that in this garden, goes under the Tree of Forgiveness and gets over their problems, and then hopefully Lee can add a branch or two each year, and eventually we'll have this Tree of Forgiveness in our garden. I mean, and I'm stepping ahead of myself saying he's going to do that. Lee, I know that you won't have time. I mean, because that's being cheeky. But lots of artists have been really good to me and donated stuff. And the musicians that come up here, I mean, I love it when Roger Hubbard comes. You know Roger. He's fantastic. And when he plays on that stage, it's mega. And obviously Mike and Blair and all that, they've just come up here. I could name so many people. Leanne, when she done Glennstonbury last year, and we had Earl Oaken up here from London, and Earl Oaken's a great musician, and they got on really well. And then, it's difficult to explain. I mean, sadly, we live in a world where, you know, people might think it's great to fly abroad, and then you'll get a picture of them in the south of France on a yacht with a glass of champagne. But I'd rather be in my garden with some friends, because that for me is more pleasure, if people won't understand that. But you live for the moment, and the moment, like this moment now, is a lovely moment, Nick. I'm with you, and it's a great moment. So where would I want to be? I'm enjoying
Well,
it.
the champagne might be nice, Glenn.
A glass of champagne. Do you want some?
No.
Because, in fact, you've made me realise I've got some mulled wine. We don't usually have alcohol at the men's club, but I might get the mulled wine out tonight. So that's what the men's club's about as well. It's about men come, and it's nothing to do with sexism, and you don't want women. Men like to be on their own, and I like a space where we've got a fire, because it's much easier to talk around a fire. So the chaps that come up here, for me, it's important because it gives them something to look forward to once a month. So if everything else is going wrong for you, once a month you know, and everyone needs something to look forward to. It's the secret of life. If you've got nothing to look forward to, then you're in a vacuum. It's like in the old days, we used to take photographs, and you waited 4 days for it to get developed.
Yeah.
But it was those 4 days that was exciting.
Anticipation.
Yeah. So now, Mike Willis is doing a similar thing at the hall, at Henry's Hall. He's got a concert hall now where we're trying to put on things for local people, so they can't all afford to go to London and pay the the money. Tickets are 50, 60 quid. Then you've got to get a train. Then you've got a queue. Then you can't. You can go to the hall for 15, 20 quid and see the best acts possible, and be with your community, have a drink, get a taxi home, done, finished. So it's what that's what I'm into. Is making people's lives better, and not living with this illusion that there's something out there that you've got to be chasing. There's nothing we need to be. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit.
Yeah, I think we'll stop there.